Hi. I'm already feeling like I'm gonna cry, but I'm trying not to cry because I want to shoot this video with you. I feel so bad today. I'm in quarantine for 4 months. I'm in India. It's fucking depressing and hot. And I hope I can maybe cheer you up too. If you're not having a good day, let's have a bad day together. In the meantime, while I'm painting this, you can also paint and also can tell you a little bit about my life. How about that? So the reason why I'm feeling like shit today is, I don't know if you know it, but I actually have Lyme disease. Oh my god, am I gonna cry? I have fucking Lyme disease. I've had it for... why am I crying? Oh my god, I'm living with this. Stop crying. I've had it for 20 years. I don't know if you know Lyme disease. It's a tick-borne disease. Yeah, man. It comes from like a tiny ass animal. It's like 1 millimeter big and it bites you. And if you're not lucky, you get really, really sick. Justin Bieber has it. Bella Hadid has it. Her mom has it. I got it when I was 8 and I got devastatingly sick. I was paralyzed. I was in the hospital for a year and then sick after that for years. Nobody even back then thought that was a real thing. And nowadays, even I think people don't think it's a real thing, but it comes with a lot of shit, you know? It comes with brain fog, it comes with depression, it comes with anxiety, it comes with all these things. It comes with nervous pain, sleep problems. Oh my god, I sound like my grandma. Let's talk about my pain. Basically, it comes big in waves, kind of like if you have it. I'm much more healthy now because I am on the right medication. But still, some days I just feel like shit. I look into the camera and I have horrible thoughts about myself and my life. And then I want to do something nice. For example, like paint Emma Chamberlain. Okay, so I didn't know this was gonna become a Lyme disease video, but we might as well talk about it while I'm painting. I can tell you my story. So when I was 8 years old, or really even before that, when I was little, yeah, since I was like 4, we would go to my parents' holiday house. It was in the forest, in the middle of nowhere. There was a big lake, lots of plants and everything. But even back then, everyone was like, oh, watch out, you know, there's a lot of ticks. Not that people were so aware that it was bad. I know my neighbor kids had ticks all the time. Everyone had tick bites all the time. So ticks are like little animals who like bite you and then they suck your blood. It's kind of gross. And they're tiny, 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 and then they become really big, like this big, because they suck your blood and then they fall off. So common sense was like, oh yeah, doesn't matter, you know, it just sucks your blood and then it will fall off anyways. But my mom is terrified of ticks because she knew they had bad diseases. But we were going there all the time. So basically I grew up a kid like that was not supposed to go on the grass, not supposed to play with the trees, not supposed to touch any bushes. Back then they were thinking, oh, it's falling down from trees, so I always had to wear a hat and I always had to wear repellent. The minute I walked out the house, I had to put on repellent since I was like 4 years old. So I was terrified of nature. I was terrified of grass. Still to this point, I am like terrified of little animals, you know, like ants and bugs and everything. I'm trying to overcome that. But basically they were like telling me, okay, you're gonna die if you're gonna get a tick. I don't know if I even believed that back then, but I was a very good kid. So I always made sure to follow my mother's rules and like not play in the grass and shit, you know, because I was scared. But then one day, one single day, I was sleeping at the neighbor kid's house, okay? And that kid was like rebellious and cool. She watched wrestling at night. So for the first time, I had a sleepover at her house. And we pulled an all-nighter and watched WWE fighting all night long. I didn't even know that existed back then. I was 8 years old and she was like, I'm betting on The Rock. I'm betting on that person, you know? I'm like, okay, cool. That day, we were running through the garden and I remember it so clear. There was like a bush and she was running through the bush. We were playing hide and seek. I'm running through it in my head. I hear my mom's voice say, don't touch any plants. I touch a plant. And literally an hour later, I'm home after the sleepover and I get terrified, I get freaked out because I realize I have a tick bite behind my ear. My whole family freaks out. They're great with handling stress, you know? So we go to the doctor in that village, small town. They know the doctor. We drive to their private house because it's late already. And we tell them about the tick and they kind of like, I don't know, cut it out and stuff. Back then they would just like rip it out, but we were so terrified, so they did it a little bit better. But even then they were like, oh yeah, don't worry, it's just a tick bite, dogs have it every day. You don't know if you have an infected tick right away, you could just be lucky and not have it. It will only show after a couple of days if you have like a rash. But back then, the doctor was like, yeah, it's not good to give the kid antibiotic. If you take strong antibiotic right away, you will not get deathly sick right away, okay? But they were like, yeah, whatever, don't give it. It's not good to give it to small children, It will be fine. A couple days later, after being terrified of ticks for like 5 years, they did not give me antibiotic. And then a couple days later, I get a huge rash. You get like a red circle around the place. So we realize I have one of these infected ticks. I have a Lyme disease tick. And then we go back to the doctor, everyone's even more freaked out, and the doctor gives me an antibiotic that they usually give. What we don't know by that time is that this antibiotic somehow does not react to my body. It doesn't work for me. It's just like eating M&Ms. Nothing happens. Basically, we're not really treating it. So then there's like a certain, I don't know, like a story of the disease. First you get this, then you get this, then you get that. Like you'll be sick for 3 days, you'll be healthy, you'll be having this, then you'll be feeling sick again. All these weird symptoms that could also just be like a little flu or be a cold, I literally had textbook symptoms, all of that. After a while, I've been very sick. I had a lot of headaches. 6 weeks later, to be exact, everyone thinks I'm healthy. Everyone's like, okay, she survived it. In the end, ticks are not that bad. Got out of it. I seem to be healthy, seem to be over it, but that is just like how this disease works. It's kind of playing tricks on you. You will be sick for a couple of days and you'll be seemingly healthy. Then I remember that day, it's a little bit before my 9th birthday. We're sitting at home, we're watching a kid's movie, like the whole family is watching TV, and there's like kind of a scary scene. It's like wizards are coming, I don't know what the hell. I'm like screaming, my mom's like, close your eyes. So I close my eyes like this. And I'm like, something's not right here. So because I was a very sensitive kid and my biggest fear was always like to scare my mom. Yeah, childhood trauma. I ask very softly, I'm like, Mom, is it normal that sometimes you want to close your one eye but it doesn't close? My mom's like immediately like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, because I had this feeling I might not be able to close my eyes or move my face. Moral of the story, I was paralyzed when I was 8. Half of my body was paralyzed. First it started in my face, then it started in my arm and leg. So now everyone really freaks out. You have like a halfly paralyzed kid. I was the most calm because I was like, okay, I'm dying, let's face it. And then everyone's calling the doctor. They're like, yeah, you must go to the hospital right now. And I'm just like, I know, I fell into this like weirdly, like everyone's running around yelling, giving each other the fault, why didn't you wash the kid better? Why didn't you give the kid better medicine? Why are you even here? Why is she dying? I just go to my room and I start packing my bag because I know we're gonna go to the hospital. I have never been to the hospital. I'm like, what would I need at a hospital being paralyzed? So I bring a big rhino, like a rhinoceros, like the one with the horn. I have like a big stuffed animal rhino that I usually never play with because it's a stiff toy. It's like this big and I'm like small. But I'm thinking, that could be handy. Maybe I can put things between the legs, because I can't really use the arm. So I'm taking the big ass rhino to be like my table, kind of like, my reading help. And then we drive to the hospital, which is overcrowded by that time. And nobody's really thinking I have something bad because back then Lyme disease wasn't a thing. I think even now people don't think it's a thing. And in most cases, it does not get diagnosed. That's the problem. And they stuff me into a shared room with a kid that has a concussion, but is like yelling and screaming, crying the whole night. And her drunk mother. I don't know what happened there. That's the first day of my year in hospital, and pretty much the beginning where shit went down. Pretty much, my shit went down. Then I got really sick for a really long time, had to take a lot of medicine, and had to learn how to use my body again. It was very, very, very terrifying because it turned out I did not only have Lyme disease, I also had encephalitis, which is like brain inflammation. Correct me in the comments, please, if I'm saying it wrong. It's like a very bad brain disease, also from the tick. And I had also blood poisoning and some other disease. So all of that I had, that's why I was really sick, and my paralyzation did not go away for the longest time. There were other kids in the hospital who had also Lyme disease, was gone after a week, they could go home. But for me, it did not go away. My parents started to freak out one more time and got very concerned. Then I had to go through a lot of physical therapy and a lot of medicine. Fast forward years and years and years. At one point, we're pretty much thinking, okay, I'm over it. Like I had it as a kid, I was sick as a kid, and now I'm not sick anymore. Turns out Lyme disease can become chronic. I don't think in all cases, but definitely in my case, it became chronic, but I didn't realize. I just had headache every day of my life. But I thought migraines in the family. I had headache, I had joint pain, and I had a lot of nausea. So I just thought I was like a picky eater. Nobody put a lot of emphasis on it. But when I was 25, I didn't live at home anymore. It was over Christmas. I got something that seemed to be the flu. I got really, really, really sick. Oh my God, I got so sick, and it would not end. It would not end. And I went to that doctor and this doctor and that doctor and this doctor, and they were all just like, you seem to be healthy. This seems to be psychological. You know, you seem to be a little cuckoo. You got problems, girl. That's what they said. Man, you got problems. It's like it's your psyche. So at 25, I thought I had a burnout. I was working a lot. I was partying a lot. All that stuff. So maybe I thought, okay, I'm probably having a burnout now. Yay! And everyone was like, don't tell anybody. Nobody's gonna like you. Nobody's gonna hire you. So I was so sick back at that point. So I lived in Berlin, Germany. And there was this little park, a tiny ass park. And it had like one round where joggers could run. So I was so sick. I could slowly walk with help half of the round, and then I had to go back to bed and sleep for 2 hours. I was so tired. I could not keep my eyes open. I felt so nauseous. My joints hurt, everything hurt. But here comes the weird ass thing about Lyme disease. Everyone's gonna tell you, but you look normal. But you look great. You look fine. It's not showing. It's not like suddenly you get like, I don't know, red dots in your face, you know? People are like, oh, or you know when you're really sick, you have like really dark eye circles, or you like, I don't know, you lose a lot of weight, or you just look like shit, you know? When you're really sick, you start looking like shit. When you have Lyme disease, you look great, but you feel like shit. And then you have things like, I'm really, really tired. And then people will tell you, why don't you sleep? I'm like, because I just slept 14 hours. Like, I should not be tired right now. I should not having headache. I should not be exhausted because I walked with my chihuahua around the block, you know? So again, I went from doctor to doctor to doctor, and I came out of it to a certain point. So it was always back then like, okay, it got bad, then I got better again, forgot about it. I got bad, I got better again, I forgot about it. I was just thinking that I was very prone to disease, and nobody was really thinking about Lyme disease at that point. They were like, you're sitting too much. They were like, you're eating the wrong things. They were like, what the fuck? No, you know? So I came to that realization, I just have problems. I am just like a dumb as fuck person doing things to make myself sick. I need to, I don't know, stop drinking milk, stop eating meat, stop tensing my arm too much, you know? Up until 2018, it got so bad again that I realized, fuck this. My life is so limited. I am so young. Nobody knows I'm sick out there. I'm successful, I have friends, I have a good job, everything. But nobody knows how sick I feel, how sick I wake up every day. I need to do something because I literally felt like I was gonna die. My dad died, and my grandma died, and my best friend died at 23, or my really good friend, I would say, within the span of 6 months, out of the blue. And I just had this moment of realization that I was like, fuck, they were not even as sick as I was. They were just normal, and I'm really sick. I need to find out what that shit is. And then I did my research. I Googled everything. And finally, I came to that point where I was like, oh my God, I think this could be Lyme disease. Why did nobody look at that? That I was nearly dying when I was 8. Why did I not look at that? How dumb can I be? And then, yeah, we found out it's Lyme disease, chronic Lyme disease. And then I did everything to get healthy. I came to India, where I'm locked in right now. This is not 2-3 months ago. This is actually 2 years ago. So I'm much better now that I'm on the right medication. Guys, you don't even know compared to back then. But still, I have these fucking days like today where I wake up in pain and I'm like, I cannot, And the crazy thing is that what comes with Lyme disease is also a lot of mental instability. I started getting anxiety. I never had anxiety. Anxiety was not even like a thing to me. I knew a lot of people were suffering from it and I thought that was horrible. I was like giving them advice and trying to help them. But I didn't have anxiety until I suddenly started getting anxiety. Horrible anxiety for no reason. I don't know if you had anxiety. You know how it feels when you're starting to like question yourself. You start to think like, am I crazy? Why am I so scared? Panic attacks, insomnia. Dude, I never had that problem. I could literally, I would lay in my bed like this and then fall asleep and then sleep the whole day. And nobody knew. Still to this day. I'm really scared about this video right now. I'm really scared about telling you. But I'm also really fed up with like not telling people the truth about this. Maybe you're struggling with some real bad shit and you're watching this right now and I can make you feel a little bit better. Yeah, so I started getting all these mental problems and it is the same thing, you know, that's the thing with Lyme disease. They're gonna be like, you look fine, you look great, you don't have the flu, you have nothing. You're probably just like fucking up yourself mentally, you know. But once I was on the right medication, all that vanished. No anxiety, no sleeping problems, no depression. I would feel so sad. Like I just in the morning, for no reason, wake up and feel like I wanted to die. I would feel so sad. And I'm so glad that I'm much better. Yay! Even then, until for a long time, I didn't know that there were other people, like a lot of people actually, who have it. I thought it was like a rare thing. And then I saw Justin Bieber has it. Dude, I know it's like a thing. You either hate Justin Bieber or you love him. I loved him even before Lyme disease. I have to admit that. I'm a believer. But watching his documentary and knowing that he has the same struggle I have made me understand so many things. I mean, it's still shitty to take drugs and be a dumb asshole. But I can definitely see so many signs of Lyme disease on his face still. And I really, really, really hope he has a good doctor and gets help. So then eventually I came to India. I found really, really powerful methods of curing my Lyme disease. I'm on the best way to being completely healthy. I feel so much better. So happy about that. If you're struggling with it, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can help you. If you want to have a video about what I'm doing, I don't want to go into all the details now in this video because we're actually painting Emma Chamberlain for 24 hours. But let me know in the comments. I would love to help you as far as I can.